In Chapter 5, we continue many of the discussions that were began in Chapter 1 on the management assertions. Beginning on page 132, we see figure 5-1, which is critically important. I would memorize that figure. We see the management assertions discussed at length. Even for Test 1, you should understand these. That discussion continues for several pages to page 117. You need to know the assertions. They are a driving concept in the course. The concept of audit evidence is introduced on page 137. It too is a level 1 topic. We then continue that discussion with some specific procedures you can use. A lot of these figures are very important, even if they're simple. Like, for example, figure 5-2 is one I would make sure I understand. This discussion continues all the way to 145, where we talk about the reliability of evidence. This is where audit becomes more art than science. I wouldn't necessarily put a lot of weight on that. That continues to figure 5-3 on page 147. Again, another figure. Even if I didn't memorize it, I would want to understand and be able to defend each step in the process. What I consider the most important figure in the entire textbook, figure 5-4, I reference it all the time on how we make audit decisions, the notion of an audit bucket. I would make sure I understand this. On page 149, a discussion of documentation begins. Documentation isn't something I consider a priority for the course, so I would skip the discussion beginning on page 149 all the way to 156. That would be a level 3 topic. Normally we'll skip the advanced modules at the end of the chapters, but unfortunately this chapter we don't. Analytical procedures are one of the most important topics. It's an area the profession has asked us to focus more energy on, so the entire topic is a level 1. That being said, at the end of the chapter on page Advanced Module 2 on page 166, these are all ratios you should be familiar with. I'm going to give you the ratios on the test. I'm not going to ask you to memorize them, but you should know what a high current ratio means, what a low current ratio means. So you may need to review your 2303 notes or borrow a textbook. Thank you.